So hi there everyone, it's John here from Bethel in Whitchurch, but also the South Wales Baptist Association. And we've got a chance today to chat with Martin Hodson, who's going to be coming to share at the Wales-wide Ministers' Conference very, very shortly, just around the corner. And we thought it'd be great just to sit and to chat together about who he is and what his passions are, and something of what he's going to bring to the conference. So Martin, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, John, it's really good to join you. Thanks for the chance to have a chat, actually. I'm looking forward to coming to the conference next month and meeting, I think, a lot of people, one or two of whom I know and lots that I don't yet.
And when you say coming, it's quite a distance that you're coming, isn't it?
Well, I live in Scotland, yeah. So I live in a town called Ochsarada, which is just south of Perth. So, yeah, it is a fair old way to Swansea.
Yeah, and where are you from originally?
Well, I grew up in Rochdale in Lancashire, so that's where I learned to speak, and there's still quite a bit of evidence of that in my accent, although I haven't lived there since I was 18.
Yeah. And tell us a bit about your role in Scotland. How are you serving at the moment?
Yeah, so my title is the General Director of the Baptist Union of Scotland. So we're a network of 157 churches at the moment, and I guess I'm the kind of team leader for the staff team, and try and support and equip the deeper church lead and the future church lead and the training lead and the comms lead in the team. And I particularly feel like I'm kind of guardian of the vision that the council have embraced for our union as well. So that's quite an important part to me of the role that I carry.
I love that phrase. If we had more time, we could unpick something there about the guardian of the vision. There's a lot there, but that leads us on to the theme that you're going to be bringing to the conference. Where did that sort of idea, that core sort of notion come from?
Well, I think that it arises from something that's kind of stirred in me, and I've been thinking about for a while, which is the nature of vision, and especially in Christian communities, and it's particularly turbocharged by the fact that nearly 2 years ago we took a very particular visionary direction as the Baptist Union of Scotland, and we have a clear but very simple vision which is very much embraced by the churches within the Scottish Baptist family. And so that's made me think quite a bit about vision and how it's important, but also how it can be kind of misunderstood and misused as well.
And I guess that title, Revisiting Vision, kind of opens that up a little bit, that vision is something that needs to be revisited, to be understood and tested and tried.
Well, yeah, I think I've got there's a kind of couple of meanings for it with me. I mean, one is, as you say, vision isn't really anything unless you keep revisiting it. And there is, if you kind of feel responsible for holding vision, then you've got to be talking about it to the point of feeling you're boring people, really. And I go around Scotland saying I've only really got 2 words that I ever speak about. It's not strictly true, but it's really the vision is increase, and increase through prayer. And so increase and prayer are the 2 things that I really find myself talking about. So there's that sense of revisiting it. But there's another way in which I want us to open it up a bit as well, because I had kind of very formative years in ministry ministry. I began ministry. I'd had a short career in the clothing industry. I worked for a firm called Kangol in garment manufacture. And then I began ministry in Aberdeen in Scotland in the 90s, and then was in Worcester for nearly 20 years as a minister. And I think in my kind of formative years in ministry, there was a lot of emphasis on the big leader carrying the big vision. And there are a number of names that come to mind that were great kind of proponents of that view of the church. And that's what a minister really was. Now, you'll see from what I've already said that I don't reject the idea that leadership means taking some responsibility for vision. But I think as time has passed, we've become cautious of sort of saying that being a visionary, being a strong individual with a strong vision is the essence of Christian leadership or ministry. I think there are a number of things we'd want to say now. A little apprehensive about giving the visionary leader too much power or influence or adulation for being the originator and carrier of a vision. And we'd probably want to say a lot more about how the church together communally discerns vision, owns vision, and guards that vision with the help of their pastor.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how that sort of image of a leader going up the mountain and coming down with the tablets of stone is somehow still ingrained in us, you know. And,
that's right. You know, and that's right. And the way that has become a metaphor for getting vision from God, as though that is actually what Moses was doing, which isn't really at all, is it? I mean, he had an incredible encounter with God that became a covenantal moment, definitive for the whole people of God at that point and since. It wasn't really, it wasn't the leader of the big church saying, okay, I take 6 weeks off in the summer where I go and seek God for vision for the next year, and then I come back and tell you what it is. That's not really parallel to Moses and Sinai.
Yeah, and it's interesting, isn't it, how churches can have that kind of a model. The minister will listen to God so that we don't have to, you know, and very much the New Testament, you know, the Spirit poured out on all people, you know, young, old, rich, poor, male, female. God speaking through community is a beautiful picture.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's difficult. I think in my experience, it's easier trying to be the solo vision caster. That's a phrase, isn't it? Casting vision. You know, to be the solo vision caster with your rod casting out vision there, rather than kind of getting on the trawler and working together as a team to catch the vision that God's got for you. It's more complicated, but actually more rewarding, more significant, more lasting, more powerful, and more surprising when we try and listen together and hear what God's saying for the vision of a community.
And I guess one of the outcomes of that is just a rich sense of ownership of the vision, that this is the vision of the church. I think it's something that as leaders it's not something that we have stumbled across, it's something that we keep tripping over. So really looking forward to all that you've got to share, Martin, and your thoughts, your guidance, your experience in that. So nobody's asked me to, but just thanks for coming to Wales, and we'll look forward to welcoming you to the conference.
Great. Well, as I say, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to working together as well. I mean, I've got some material I want to share with you, but I hope we can, we can do some good work, thinking and sharing experience, because I know that there'll be a huge amount of knowledge in the room, and a lot more than I've got. And if we can find some ways to kind of elicit that from one another and share together what we already know, or sharpen our thinking, iron sharpens iron by being in the same room together. Because I often say to the ministers in Scotland, no one knows how to be a Baptist minister in Scotland better than the Baptist ministers in Scotland. And I'm equally convinced that no one knows how to be a Baptist minister in Wales better than the Baptist ministers in Wales. So if we can do some great thinking around this together, we've got the experts in the room.
Yeah, that sounds great. Sounds good. Oh, well, thanks ever so much for your time today and for sharing. We're looking forward to meeting you in person.
Likewise, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Thanks, Martin. God bless.